Hello friends, welcome to a new watercolor tutorial. I am VanidasMangathil. In this video, we will be learning how to suggestively paint bushes and grasses etc. in a loose landscapes. Some of the concepts of this is described and demonstrated in part 1 of this video. So if you haven't watched part 1, please go ahead and watch part 1 first and then come back to this video. Without further ado, let us begin the tutorial. I have used Indian handmade watercolor paper for this demonstration, and let us make a very loose drawing of it. Okay. See, the idea is to sort of make a horizon maybe, and maybe some piece of land and water body. Okay, some water body on the left side, and maybe some bushes at the bottom, right? So see, the drawing here is very loose. I am not very clearly, very precisely making the drawing here. Some sort of loose drawing. This is an imaginary work, and so whatever I am scribbling now, whatever little bit of drawing that I am making, it is somehow I am trying to transfer the idea into the paper. Maybe some sort of some trees and reflection here. See, the trees and the reflection, particularly the reflection, makes the water more believable. Okay, some smaller trees and some larger trees. Okay, and I don't know what to do next. Right, I think we can stop at this particular point and then we can think about the watercolor painting part of it, right? And we'll be making it very loose. Okay, so let us make some very pale kind of a sky. Okay, some sort of cerulean blue, very pale wash of cerulean blue, and I'm using a Chinese calligraphy brush. If you have any mop brush or round brush, I mean, you can even manage with flat brush. Any brush can actually do. I have just picked a calligraphy brush because probably I had one in front of me, right? Some bluish color and some sort of whites seen through, maybe suggesting some very subtle clouds. Okay, now we want something, the reflection of the sky to be seen on the water body. Okay, right, very simple wash. Okay, very pale simple wash. Okay, now what I should do, we have to plan actually. Okay, whenever we paint, we have to plan the sequence, considering the tonal values, and also considering what kind of edges we need. Do we need soft edges, we need hard edges, should we go for wet on wet? All those decisions we have to make, and I have made a decision to paint the far end foliages with a sort of wet on wet approach. Okay, so the sky area is still wet, so I have mixed some kind of a darker tones, and I have used the same brush for suggesting the foliages. See, the darker tone that I have used here is little bit of blue, like cobalt blue, maybe little bit of browns, etc. So kind of grayish blue. You don't have to worry about the precise colors. Okay, so on the right side mountain sort of thing, I have used little lighter color, and as it comes to the left side of it, let us make it slightly darker tone. Okay, this again is sort of wet on wet treatment for at the top of it, and maybe here it is slightly dry. Okay, I think that is fine, right? Now what else? We have the sky now. We have the reflection of the sky on the water body, and we have the far end foliages, and the paper is slightly wet. Maybe we'll have to think of painting land now, and I am using little bit of yellowish green. So I have used some sort of lemon yellow and mixed little bit of orange, and maybe a tiny bit of sap green. I mean, it is a mix of yellow and touch of orange and sap green, and I have made it kind of a warm green sort of color. Okay, I am continuing to use the same brush. Okay, I usually, I mean, don't change the brush unless I feel it is actually necessary. Otherwise, I try to manage the things with larger brushes. And as I am coming down with this kind of greenish color, I am also making some touches with darker tones of the same combination of color. Okay, it is the same kind of combination, little bit of yellow, little bit of orange, and little bit of green. And as I'm planning to come down, I'll be using more of darker greens. Okay, maybe I will use at a later point, I will use darker greens like maybe olive green, etc. Okay, now little bit of darker green. As you can see, I have used little bit of olive green. Okay, because see, the tones of these grasses or bushes will come darker as it comes down, and if you are not clear as to why this happens, you please watch part 1 of this video, and there I have explained everything with the help of some properties, etc. Okay, so please go ahead and watch that particular video and come back to this. Now we need it to be we need to suggest some darker tones. Okay, so I am making olive green, little thicker, right, and a touch of orange to that. And the green area is actually not dry now, it is still little damp. Okay, so I am making some suggestions of darker tones to suggest some of the shadow area of the far ahead bushes. Okay, these darker tones are supposed to be some shadow areas of bushes or grasses that is far away. And as this bunch of grasses comes nearby, the shadow becomes slightly bigger and maybe a little bit darker because of the kind of perspective. Okay, and it is still, as you can see, it is still little damp. It is not very wet, it is sort of damp, so that you get little bit of a soft edge, not very much soft, but soft in a limited way, in a certain way. So I am making some vertical strokes with smaller brushes. Now I have used for these shadows I have used smaller brush because the size of these shapes are smaller, so we have to use smaller brushes. Okay, and let these darker touches suggest some of the bunches of grasses or bushes nearby. Okay, and if you think you are finding value in this, please let me know your feedback, your comments. Okay, please let me know your questions, and if you think I can improve these videos in a certain way, please write them into the comment box below. I'll be happy to go through your comments and do whatever improvements possible, right? So these are some dark touches and some of the protruding tips of grasses, etc. Okay, bushes, etc. See, the idea is to just suggest it, not precisely define it. Okay, some of these areas could be added with some more darker tones. Okay, now we are getting certain amount of depth. Okay, so the idea is also, while painting, you also look at the sense of depth that you are getting and try to modify your approach to sustain the depth or to improve the depth. Okay, right. I think I'm reasonably happy with what we are getting now. Maybe some dots of darks here and there, so that the bottom area doesn't look very blank. Okay, some sort of grasses or some suggestions. Maybe I might even what do you call it as darken the bottommost area where I am making the strokes now. I might consider applying a glazing with darker tones because I don't want too much contrast there. Okay, right. try to avoid overworking. I am a little bit worried that I am already overworking, so try to avoid overworking. Too much of details does it look good, so I am softening some of these tones, uh, some of these dark brushworks I applied, because I don't think it reads well. So maybe I will splash some colors, okay, darker colors, and create little bit more interest there. Some splashes of opaque, little bit of watercolor whites. Okay, so because those whites will do little bit of spreading, and it will create some texture sort of thing. It will make it look little crowded. So those white touches, right? It is very. I have used it very judiciously. We should not use it too much. Okay, try to use it very judiciously, and that will create some sense of depth. Okay. If you are finding some value in this tutorial, and if you are finding it useful, please consider subscribing and pressing the bell notification so that you get notified whenever I release new videos. If you think this video can benefit your artist friends, please share it to them so that they can also learn from the video and they can also improve their watercolor landscapes. Okay, I think I will. This is fair enough. Okay, and we have to think of what to do next. Maybe some darker tones around the edge of the water body. Okay, usually you will find that at the edge of the water body there is a kind of darker planes which will make the water body little pronounced. Visually it will be popping up little bit. Okay, so that is the idea. And now we have to think of these trees. Okay, so some small trees. I am using the same brush as of now. Same brush in the sense the round brush that I have used for the shadows of the land, the bushes. Okay, and yeah, little bit of the foliages. The precise definition is not required, just suggestion will do, right? And yeah, maybe some small suggestions for the trunks. See, these trees and other elements here will give us an opportunity to define the reflections in the water body, and the water body will become more convincing. That is the idea of placing the trees here. Okay, so you can consider that kind of an approach whenever you create a water body. Try to add some element that can create reflections into the water body. So the reflections, I am going to make the reflections now, and the reflections are slightly duller than the actual tree in this case. Okay, I wanted it to be slightly lighter. Usually you will find that the reflections are lighter in dirty water. Okay. Yeah, I think that will do. Some lighter reflection for these bushes above, and some reflection for the center taller tree. Okay. Okay, I think this is enough, sufficient for the reflections, and we don't need too much of details for the reflections. Okay, maybe something vertical. Right, what next we have to do? I don't know what to do next. We have to think. Okay, this is a work from imagination, so we have to think what about adding a little bit more details, and what details we need to put. Those things I'm sort of thinking now. What about some suggestion for maybe some cows? Okay, it is at a very far distance, we may not see it properly. Just some suggestion of the shapes will do. Okay, I think that much is sufficient. Okay, and maybe another one. So these are just to create some additional interest. Okay, otherwise our objective of painting bushes is already met. We have already done that. Okay, so these are some the reflections and these the cows, etc., are some additional things to add more interest to the work. Okay, again, try to do these kind of additions, because this will kind of improve your I mean creativity, your imagination power, and yeah, and the work will look more interesting, right? Maybe a tiny figure here, and yeah, just a touch will do. Actually, we cannot define precise figure here. Just a small touch suggesting the figure will be sufficient. Okay, right. Now watch. I don't. I'm looking forward if I need to add anything more or not. Maybe some touches of white can bring it up, can make it more, I mean, popped up more, I mean, enhanced. And yeah, that's it probably. And we don't need to add much more additions to this. So the primary idea of this work was to suggest these kind of bushes in a very loose manner. Okay, and to then convert them into some sort of landscapes. Okay, so I hope you got I mean informative contents in this particular video, and if you think this video is worth sharing, please do share it to your artist friends, and so that they will also get benefited. Okay, so maybe we can, it is the time to stop the video now. I'm just giving some kind of white highlights so that there is a little bit of I mean contrast spread around to make it little bit more interesting, right? Okay, so if you do this, it will, if you do this more, your work may get little tight. Okay, so let us take out the tape now, and we will treat this as done. Okay, so thank you very much for being with me in this particular tutorial, and I hope you have learned I mean something about the painting loose bushes and grasses in this video. And if you think my video contents are informative, please consider subscribing and pressing the bell notification, and you will get notified whenever I release new videos. Okay, so please share it to your artist friends, and please continue the practice and learn. The more we practice, the more we will learn. Okay, so without practice we will not learn, and we will not have confidence. Okay, thank you very much, and we will soon see you with another informative tutorial, and happy painting until then. Bye bye.